mutual respect throughout the session. Number 6, no unauthorized recording. Please note that recording, screenshots, or redistribution of this webinar content without permission is strictly prohibited. Number 7, time management. We appeal to all speakers and participants to adhere strictly to allocated time to ensure we conclude as scheduled. Once again, thank you for joining us. We are confident that this webinar will be insightful, practical, impactful for our professional growth and practice. At this point, I will proceed to introduce the moderator for the day in the person of ESV Igo Fayomi. She's a member of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyor and Valuer, and she is a professor. So may I have the honor to read a citation. The citation of ESV Mrs. Igo Fayomi, member Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyor and Valuers, is a registered surveyor and valuer. A dynamic force in the Nigerian real estate and academic landscape, Dr. Igo Fayomi is a trailblazing estate surveyor and valuer currently serving as the Dean, Faculty of Environmental Design and Management and Head, Department of Estate Management at Leeds City University, Ibadan. With a career that seamlessly blends academic excellence, professional leadership, and entrepreneurial drive, he is redefining the standards of estate management, education, and practice. Dr. Fayomi is the visionary founder of JetMos Nigeria Limited, a forward-thinking company engaged in construction, real estate development, and project management. Our professional journey has included impactful roles at CAD Tech Engineering Services, Ulobo and Co., and Guarantee Trust Bank before transitioning to academia in the year 2018, where she has rapidly risen through the ranks to her current leadership roles. She holds a BSc, MSc, PhD in Estate Management from Obafemi Awolowo University and is a proud registered surveyor and valuer, associate of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuer, and fellow of the Institute of Personality Development and Customer Relations Management. She also leads as chairperson for Women in African Real Estate Society, AFES, West African chapter, and is a respected board member of AFES. An accomplished scholar with over 40 years, Dr. Fayomi is a regular voice at national and international conferences, seminars, and webinars engaging diverse audiences from government stakeholders to inspiring real estate professionals. He is deeply committed to mentoring the next generation of estate surveyors, real estate developers, and property professionals across Africa. Beyond a professional achievement, Dr. Fayomi is a wife, proud mother of 3, and woman of diverse interests. She loves traveling, driving, reading, and connecting with people from all walks of life. Her passion for growth, excellence, and impact continues to inspire both peers and prodigies across the built environment. Please join me as we welcome the moderator for today, ESV Dr. Igo Fayomi, MNIVS moderator. Thank you. Madam, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Ma. I appreciate you, Ma. Thank you. Sorry, I'm in a place where my network is not so please, sometimes my pictures will have to go off for a while. Thanks for understanding. So to officially commence this program, I would like to call on the chairperson, to give our welcome address, ESV Bridget Orai. She's a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuer. So I'll give you the floor, Ma, to give us your welcome address. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you, Doctor. Good morning, everyone.
Good
Mr.
morning.
President and Chairman of Council, First and Second Vice Presidents of our great institution, distinguished council members, NIESV Noble Colonels, fellows, members and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. It is both an honor and a great privilege to warmly welcome you to the first webinar series of the Auctioneering Professional Group of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers with the theme, The Business of Auctioneering. This webinar marks the commencement of a structured knowledge sharing initiative by the professional group. Going forward, our training programs will be expanded through collaboration with professional auctioneering institutions, regulatory stakeholders, and academic community to strengthen auction practice within our profession and align it with global best practices. On behalf of my executive committee members, I sincerely commend our immediate past chairman, ESV Tope Olayinka Ojo, together with his executive committee members, for the remarkable foundation they laid for this professional group. Though leadership has transitioned, we shall continue to rely on your experience, mentorship, and professional guidance as we build upon your achievements. As renowned investor, Warren Buffett once said, "Price is what you pay, value is what you get." This statement perfectly captures the essence of auctioneering within professional real estate practice. The Auctioneering Professional Business Group is established to promote professional excellence in auctioneering practice through capacity development, knowledge sharing, policy advocacy, and the advancement of ethical and transparent auction services across professional and institutional practice environments. Auctioneering remains an established and recognized component of professional estate surveying and valuation practice. The Estate Surveyors and Valuers Registration Board of Nigeria, through the Exabon Act, reinforced by Exabon Regulation 2025, recognized auctioneering as part of the professional functions of registered estate surveyors and valuers. This statutory authority affirms our competence not only in valuation, but also in structured asset disposal, market facilitation, and regulated auction practices. Indeed, every successful auction process is anchored on sound professional valuation. Valuation provides the analytical framework that guides the determination of reserved price, starting bid price, and always supports credible price discovery at the fall of the hammer. However, auctioneering extends beyond the symbolic fall of the hammer. It is a structured professional process built on trust, transparency, accountability, and market confidence. It remains a vital tool for value discovery, asset recovery, efficient property disposal, and competitive market participation. Auctioneering provides a platform that brings together sellers, buyers, financiers, regulators, and professionals within a fair and transparent transactional environment. In essence, auctioneering converts competition into confidence and transparency into measurable values. Today's webinar is designed to broaden our professional capacity and expose members to professional standard development, shaping auctioneering practice in Nigeria. We are particularly privileged to have two highly experienced and accomplished auction practitioners who will be sharing valuable insights with us. We shall be hearing from Colonel Oluseyi Morgan, who will speak on online auction business dynamics in Nigeria, and Colonel Tope Olayinka Ojo, who address business model for property auction. We are deeply grateful to our distinguished resource persons for accepting to contribute their knowledge and industry experience towards advancing professional development within our institution. As we continue to discharge our professional responsibilities, let us be guided by the timeless words of C.S. Lewis, who reminded us that integrity is doing the right thing, even though when no one is watching. This principle must remain our cornerstone of auction practice, and indeed the entire professional calling of estate surveyors and valuers. The Auctioneering Professional Business Group remains committed to promoting professional training policy advocacy, stakeholders, and distinguished colleagues and participants. The future of auction practice in Nigeria will not be shaped merely by market forces, but by collective commitment to professionalism, innovation, integrity, and continuous learning. As estate surveyors and valuers, we must remain prepared to lead market transformation, expect professional frontiers, and strengthen public confidence in our services. Once again, I warmly welcome you to this webinar and encourage us all to participate actively, learn purposefully, and contribute meaningfully to the advancement of our profession. Thank you all, and God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ma. We absolutely appreciate your welcome address. So to give us the next welcome address is our first Vice President, ESV Malam Bature Ali Mohammed. Please, sir, we'd love you to give us your welcome address. Thank you, sir.
Good morning, moderator. You have the floor back. Dr. Igor, the floor is back to you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So hello, can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello.
please, we can.
Okay,
Yes,
thank
we can
you. Okay, to have the welcome address, we are going to invite the first Vice President to give us the opening address, ESV Malam Bature Ali Mohammed, to give us his welcome address and remarks. Thank you, sir.
Just give him a minute. He's trying to reconnect, please.
Okay, thank you, ma.
First Vice President, sir, you have the floor.
Our first Vice President, sir, are you with us here? First Vice, sir.
Assalamu alaikum. Masu ya gida?
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You are all welcome.
Thank you, sir.
What of our chairman? Is she there?
She's here, sir. She's here too.
All right. Good morning.
Good morning, sir. We're expecting your welcome remarks, my Vice President, sir.
Oh, the program has started?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we've introduced you already. We are waiting for your welcome remarks.
What of Mr. President?
We informed him, but he has not entered. So we hope he will enter before the program ends.
Before the program ends?
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Good morning, everyone. Am I being heard?
We are with you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and my distinguished noble colleagues, the chairman and members of the executive committee of the Auctioneering Business Group, our speakers, distinguished noble colleagues. I want to say I'm delighted to welcome our president, even though he is not here. Welcome the #1 citizen of the Nigerian Institute of Estate Surveyors and Valuers, Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Chief Dr. Adekunle Victor, to this capacity building program organized by the Auctioneering Professional Group of the institution. The chairman of the Auctioneering Professional Group, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Bridget Oraye, our speakers and highly resourceful persons, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Tokpeyinka Ojo, Mr. Oluseyi Morgan, and the able moderator, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Dr. Igor Fayomi. I welcome you in a special way to this webinar on business, on our title, Business of Auctioneering. We are glad to have your impact knowledge on us today. I also welcome everyone participating in the competence acquisition exercise, most particularly members of our profession of the estate surveying and valuation. As a professional body, the institution places high premium on skill acquisition and capacity building by its members. The current administration took a step further by making capacity building one of its cardinal programs and by rejigging its content to make it more comprehensive. And this is the only way to remain relevant in today's highly dynamic economy and maximally benefit from the potentials and long-term prospects in the industry. I am further glad to note that the quality of services rendered to clients and organization by our members in all areas of our core competencies have greatly improved in recent years. We owe ourselves a duty to sustain and intensify our efforts in this direction. We shall all keep growing our standards and professionalism via training and retraining in order to be at par with international best global practices and standards. My distinguished noble colleagues, no doubt this is a critical aspect of our professionalism, as according to Mark Twain, knowledge becomes wisdom only after it has been put to practical use. To live up to the reputation of an expert in practice, therefore, one must ensure he consistently acquire knowledge and proceed to apply the knowledge to professional practice. At this webinar, we shall explore the key elements that drive the auction business model, intricacies of successful bidding, and how to navigate the auction world successfully. I strongly believe that profoundly impacting lessons which will trigger and enhance auctioneering business and which will enable us to stay ahead of the curve and keep progressing in our professional endeavors shall be learned today. I enjoy all participant members to embrace the initiative with rapt attention. I would like to commend most sincerely the chairman of Auctioneering Business Group, Estate Surveyor and Valuer Bridget Orion, and her team for moving into this direction of advancing training and acquisition of specialist knowledge by members of our profession, particularly members of this professional group. I once again welcome you and request that you please make the best of this training opportunity for the utmost best of our professionalism. I want to say at this junction, please, thank you for listening and thank you for being here with all of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my Vice President, sir, my first Vice, sir. We appreciate you greatly, sir. It's good to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
Yes,
Thank
sir.
you very much. Thank you
Yes,
very
sir.
much. And I welcome everybody again. I welcome all of you.
Thank you so much, sir. So today we're talking about the business of auctioneering. And like we know, in the real estate and business environment, auctioneering is applied mainly in the disposal of landed properties, foreclosed properties, governmental and corporate surplus properties, and liquidation of business inventories and equipment. So the auctioneer works as an intermediary that organizes the valuation, the marketing, realization of the bidders, legal requirement, and execution of the transactions. And auctioneering is a market design and transactional service that organizes the sale of assets by the use of competition bidding by licensed intermediaries. So the auctioneer acts as a market designer, configuring rules that aligns the seller's objectives with regulatory and market constraints. The auctioneer is the central to foreclosure, receivership, liquidation, judicial sales, and disposal of surplus and public assets, amongst others. We have different types of auctions, like we know. We have the English auction, we have the Dutch auction, we have the online auction, we have hybrid auction, we have reserve auctions, among others. And these are all things that we're going to so like me now. The online auction refers to the auction process that takes place in the internet. And instead of being physically present, everyone can be online and connect to the process of the auction. So they enable participants to be remotely present for the auction and in real time and within a specified period. So when we talk about business of auctioneering, what comes to mind? Business of auctioneering is a professional and regulated process in which business assets, commercial properties, or even entire business operations are auctioned to the highest bidder through competitive bidding. It is a niche auctioneering service which is aimed at the commercial and corporate markets, create equitable market prices in a fast and efficient way. There are stages in business of auctioneering. We have the asset identification and valuation process. We have the marketing, advertising, and submission of offer. And we have the settlement and transfer and ownership. These are all stages. So a business auction is a structured model that determines the manner in which value is created, delivered, and captured in the process of selling business properties or commercial assets by means of competitive bidding. Business auction is a competitive bidding process of selling business assets, commercial properties, or a complete business operation. The model incorporates the elements of professional intermediation, market-driven prices, and operational processes that guarantee a consistent transactional life cycle. Conclusively, I will say that business auctioneering is a professional, formal, and commercial method of auctioning business properties, commercial properties, and complete business operations. Its business model incorporates valuation, marketing, legal compliance, operational management to guarantee efficient, transparent, and time-limited transactions. So this model is value creating because it offers correct price discovery, increased asset liquidity, and equitable access by buyers, and decreased transaction costs and risk by sellers. It uses both physical and digital platforms, or more particularly online and hybrid platforms, to increase the range of the market and competitive bidding. So with this, I will say that we're actually going to benefit a lot from our presenters who are going to speak on both the online transactions and the business aspect of auctioneering. So I appreciate you and I want you to listen attentively. And if you have any questions, please pen them down so that at the end of the discussion, our presenters will be able to answer your questions properly and precisely. So thank you very much for this. So for us to comment, I would like to call on Dr. NIESV Mina Udom to give us the introduction and brief profile of the first speaker, Mr. Oluseyi Morgan, for the next 5 minutes. Thank you. NIESV Dr. Mina Udom, please, she's a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers. Please, can you give us the citation, brief profile and citation of the first speaker? Thank you.
Okay. Good morning, distinguished noble colleagues here present. Permit me to stand on already established protocol. It is with great pleasure and privilege, on behalf of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers Auctioneering Professional Group, I humbly present to you the citation of our first guest speaker, Mr. Oluseyi Morgan, FCAI. Mr. Oluseyi Morgan, FCAI, is the Chief Executive Officer and Chief and Lead Auctioneer of Rihago Auction Limited, and a licensed auctioneer under the Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC. With over a decade of hands-on auctioneering experience, he has led and advised on more than 860 asset disposal engagements, successfully selling over 17,000 assets across the public and private sectors. His portfolio spans landed properties, vessels, vehicles, plant and machinery, industrial equipment, petroleum products, scrap materials, and other specialized asset classes. Mr. Morgan has extensive practical experience delivering auction, e-auction, live auction, and hybrid auction models, within which he has successfully executed a wide range of auction and sale types, including open auctions, closed auctions, sealed bid auctions, restricted auctions, private treaty sales, provisional sales, and right to match sales. His work is characterized by strong process discipline, stakeholder confidence, and audit-ready outcomes. He currently leads a team of 11 certified auctioneers, delivering scalable governance-driven auction and sale auctions for government institutions, financial institutions, insolvency practitioners, and corporate organizations. A fellow of the Certified Institute of Auctioneers of Nigeria, CIAN, and a member of both the Nigerian Association of Auctioneers and the National Auctioneers Association, US and Canada. Mr. Morgan is also a graduate of the South African College of Auctioneering, 2011. He is a strong advocate of auctioneering as a disciplined business practice, anchored on regulatory compliance, reserved price discipline, transparency, and technology-enabled processes. His work positions e-auction, live auction, and hybrid auction models, when properly aligned with appropriate sale types, as credible tools for governance, value discovery, and asset monetization within Nigeria's evolving digital market environment. Noble colleagues, kindly join me to welcome Mr. Oluseyi Morgan as he makes his paper presentation on the first topic titled The Business Dynamics of Auction Models and Digital Asset Sale Types in Nigeria. Mr. Morgan, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the very kind, I trust everybody can hear me. Thank you very much for the kind introduction, and good morning, members and participants. I will stand on existing protocols. It's certainly a great pleasure to be here, and I feel deeply honored to have been invited by the distinguished faculty to speak on a topic that not only is my passion, but also a virtual part of our economy and the business of asset disposal. Over the next 30 minutes, I will talk you through the core of online auction business dynamics in Nigeria. I will be delighted to take your questions as stated by you just jotting them down, and I'll be able to take those questions. You can just drop it in the chat box as well. My valued team members who are here are online, and they would also help in posting answers if we're pressed for time. So now let's kick off today's session. Session is practical and industry focused. We would like to look at how auctions have evolved from an event into a digital asset disposal system for estate surveyors wanting to keep up to date with global best practice. This is critical information because auctions have become global best practice worldwide. So let me first start off by saying it's important to stress that an auction company is not just an auctioneer with a gavel. It's multi-departmental department organization. We typically have 6 departments in such an organization. You have your business development and client services. You have your digital asset management. You have technical platform team. You have your marketing and buyers team. You have compliance and finance. And last but not least, you have operations and logistics. As the presentation goes on, I shall touch on all these various key areas. So let's walk through the pillar for auction framework. There are 6 pillars: delivery channels, the sales type, mechanism. We shall also again go into details on all the various sale auction frameworks. Can we have the next slide, please? Okay, so this slide basically just explains a bit more the 3 key models. So you have the live physical auction, which we're all familiar with. Online auctions is something that has come up as of recent. And under online auctions, we have what we refer to as the timed auctions, or also known as e-auctions. Hybrid, also known as simulcast auctions, is a combination of both online and the live auction. Could we have the next slide, please? Here we would compare the various three models. So you have your live, you have your online, you have the timed auction, you have the hybrid. But for each one has various features. Some of them are quite standard, but let me talk on soft close, for example, which I know is a huge challenge for a number of people. Soft close is where at the end of the auction, you have people, what we refer to as sniping. They come in at the last few minutes to place their bids and hoping that they would win the auction at their bidded price. But what a soft close does is, if a bid is received 3 minutes to the close of the auction, the system would automatically extend that asset for another 3 minutes. So it gives other people opportunities to come in to actually place another bid. Let me also speak on auto auction, proxy bids. Auto auction is basically where the system would place your bids on your behalf at an agreed or a stated bid increment. So you don't have to sit down in front of your system. You take a decision at the start of the auction. I want to maximum value I want to bid for this is X. So you put that in and the system would automatically bid on your behalf till that price has been reached, or if the auction ends, and you would now be declared the highest bidder. Proxy bid is similar to that. Proxy bid basically means you would place your bid before the auction starts. Usually a 24-hour window is given for that before the e-auction starts. So in case you're not able to participate in the auction, that is an option that is available. The system would bid on your behalf, and again, you'd be notified as the system progresses. Can we have the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, so it's very important for you to know and understand the various sale types under the various models. You have the open bid auction, which I'm sure everybody is familiar with. You have the sealed bid auction. Again, everybody is familiar with that because if you look at situations where sealed bid is where you're also called envelope auction or sealed bid auctions. Envelope auction, so before the start of the auction, if we're looking at a live auction, for example, you go in, you have your envelope, you put in your price, you put it in a box. This can now be done electronically. So you would go in, you'd put in your price, which is not visible to everybody else. It is just you and the back end that would see that value you have placed. At the end of the auction, all prices are revealed and the asset is awarded to the first highest bid placed. Multi-parceling auction, that's the third one. This is a very interesting sale type. Why do I say so? Because it gives you the opportunity to maximize the value for every single lot you have put up for sale. So let us take, for example, a block of flats, 20 flats in the block. Everybody would have an opportunity to actually come in and bid for each single flat as they wish. But if you want to do a combination, you can then choose, oh, I want all the flats on the first floor, I want all the flats on the top floor. If you're a developer and you say, look, I want the whole building, the whole 20 block of flats because I want to renovate, whatever reasons you have. So multi-parceling is something that is quite interesting. We can also look at it as an estate with maybe 20 plots of land or 30 plots of land. Corner pieces would obviously be a lot more expensive than just a plot in the middle of the road. You have a developer who would say, look, I want the whole 20 plots of land. So multi-parceling is ideal for bulk sale. It gives you the flexibility because you can then choose whatever lots you want to group together, or if you want to sell, or if you want to bid on just one single lot. So that gives you that option with multi-parcel auctioning. We have private treaty, basically, that is where you negotiate directly with us on behalf of the bidder to get the very best price for that. Could we have the next slide, please? Okay, so again, we've just basically given a bit more definition here of the various sale types and the key features typical user cases of the various sale types. So you have the open bid, which everybody knows, sealed confidential bids, which is your e-sale bids approach. Multi-party we've spoken about and also touched on private treaty auction. Next slide, please. Can I have the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, so there are different sales mechanisms, and these are things you really need to just sit down and discuss with the seller before you proceed with the sale. Reserve price, you can't sell below the reserve price. Absolute auction, there's no reserve given, so you sell to the highest price. Provisional sale, we've had instances where we have run an auction, we haven't met the reserve. It's been close to the reserve. Sometimes it's a bit of a distance from the reserve. So the seller is notified electronically of the highest bid that has been received. Then they can also just immediately confirm that, yes, that reserve price is acceptable to them or not. There would also be an option where, yes, they can actually change their reserve price. That, again, would also be communicated to the buyer. Right to match, quite interesting. We have situations where parties have lost their assets to the bank because they financed through the bank. Now, when the bank has now come up to sell, they're able to buy the asset back, but because the process has already started, they would not be given that opportunity. But with the right to match process, once the auction has been concluded, the highest bid received, the qualified or pre-qualified party is notified of that, and they now have the chance or opportunity to buy at that highest bid amount received. Of course, during the sale, you would notify everybody participating in this because there has to be complete transparency in the whole process. So your bidders are fully aware that, yes, I might even be the highest winning bidder, but there's still a possibility I might not be able to buy because of the right to match offer that had been given to a qualified party. Can we have the next slide, please? So here we've just basically explained the various bid types and what would be appropriate dependent on the sale type. So for proxy bids, you wouldn't have that in a live auction. Everything else, hard bid as well, you wouldn't really have that in a live auction. Auto bid, you wouldn't have in a live auction. Buy it now is something that is also part of the sales. Buy it now basically means I do not have time to participate, or I really just want the asset at the buy it now price. Now, buy it now prices are determined by two factors I'll put into consideration. One is the reserve. A buy it now cannot be at the reserve. Also, if we have already received bids on the buy it now, so it's quite fluid. So buy it now basically is a percentage increase of either the reserve or the current bid amount. So that option is always available to buyers, and when this has been used, we find that a lot of our sales actually go through the buy it now because people don't want the anxiety and, oh, this is the price that has been offered as a buy it now. They're comfortable with that and they just proceed to consummate the transaction based on the buy it now price. So it's something that is quite interesting to use. Manual bids is just basically used on in a live auction scenario. Can we have the next slide, please? Thank you. Okay, so now we have what we refer to as buyer's access. You have your open auction. Everybody is entitled or is able to participate in the auction once you have registered. Registration basically is a KYC process: first name, last name, email address, and phone number. Email address is verified, so is your phone number verified using an OTP. That way we know who you are. Yes, we are looking at working on having your NIN as part of the KYC registration process. That is in the works. You have where you sell to organizations, so closed access, where you sell to organizations to their staff, for example. So you could either use an email invite. They would have shared with you the list of their various staff members or who they want to participate in the auction. So you invite them to the auction via email. Email domain, so say, for example, you have bank X that want all their staff to participate in the auction. You cannot, some of these banks have 8,000, 5,000 members of staff. You're not going to get that list. So all you then just do is you use your email domain control access. So anybody that comes in with at that specific bank.com immediately granted access to the sale. In granting the access, you need to also have situations where you're able to verify the email. So you send them an email to their email address, and once they come back having verified that email address, you know that yes, they are working for the organization, and then you then invite them to the sale. We have restricted access. This usually happens when certain requirements or certain fulfillment must be done for you to be able to participate in the sale. So if we're looking at petroleum products, for example, there are various government licenses and permits that you need to have to be able to deal in petroleum products. Same thing for things like inverter batteries and so on and so forth. So we then use restricted access as part of the controls we have put in place to reduce or manage risk management. Could we have the next slide, please? Next slide, please. Okay, thank you. Okay, so auction models, pre-auction preparation. You need to sit down and determine and conclude with the seller, offering them all the various options you render, and then the right selection is done. Critical aspect of that is digital asset management, because your prospective buyers will not have access to the assets up for sale. Then you need to ensure that you do your proper cataloging, photography of the assets, all the various reports. And for properties, we also have what we have of property virtual tours as well, so people are able to see the asset fully. I think the best guide is when you're doing these things, you have to ask yourself, would I buy this asset with the information I have gotten? If that information is not adequate for you to buy those assets, then you need to go back and see how else or what else information you can add to it. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. I see my time is almost running up, so I'll be as quick as possible. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Hello? Can I have the next slide, please?
This is slide 12.
Okay, no, I can't see what you have up. Sorry.
This is slide 12.
I'm not seeing 12. Okay, I think we've. Can we go to slide 7? The slide before this, please.
This is 7.
I'm seeing slide 8.
Okay.
So it's auction execution process. It's a slide before this. This is 3. Oh.
Okay,
4.
it's here, number 11. Slide 11, we are here, sir.
Is the next one.
This is 12.
Okay, fine. That's it. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So once you have marketed the asset, the auction, then you now start the auction process itself. So your prospective buyers can come in and look at the assets online. They would also be able to see all the various documentations, the various reports that have attached to each asset. Optional physical inspection. Some sellers would not want for various people to come into their premises to view the assets. Bidding commences with the KYC. Buyers are committed as they bid. Once the sale has been concluded, can we go to slide 7, please? This is slide 8. Okay, so let me just work with this then, yes? Okay, so during the auction, buyers are notified of what is going on. It's very important, it's part of the transparency process. So once we accept your bid, we notify you. When you are outbidded, we'd also notify you. If your auto bid changes, we'd also notify you. At the end of the auction, if you've been outbidded or if you're the winning bidder, we would also notify you on that with the bid amount and also payment instructions. So please, can we go to slide 9, please, now? I've spoken about slide 8, so if we could do slide 9, please. Financial controls. Next slide, please.
This is 9, financial control options.
Okay, but what I'm seeing is 7. I'm not sure if it is my internet here or if everybody else is saying slide 7.
I think it's your internet.
But it has changed to 3 again. Now it's 9.
Now it's 9.
This financial control, yeah.
Okay, all right. So when the auction happens, it's important for your buyers to be committed. And how do you do that? We've had instances where people come and bid, and I'm sure a number of auctioneers have also had that instance where people come to bid and they just walk away from the transaction, or in the bidding process, they've been outbidded and they just feel, look, since I can't get it, you can't get it as well. So they just keep on bidding to ridiculous amounts.
The mayor.
Thank you. That is fine there. Yeah. So you have various bidders' commitments. You have the pre-auction deposit. That can either be in a bank draft or a transfer. You have in-house auction liens. Basically, what happens is you put in your card details, you put a lien on a specific amount, dependent on your KYC with your bank. If you are outbidded at the end of the auction, the lien is voided. So you
We can't hear you again. We can't hear you again.
Am I the only one who cannot hear again?
Yeah, I think it is network.
Okay, sorry. Okay, sorry about that. I was muted. Okay, so just to quickly wrap up on the financial commitment. In all the auctions we've run, I believe we've not had up to 10 instances where people have won and have made the commitment, the deposit, that have not come back to make full and final payment. It's important for your seller to have the confidence in your process that once you have declared a winner, they will make full and final payments to the transaction. So it's quite important. Then we also have the balance due payment, which you remit to your seller as well, taking out your fees and whatever agreements you had in place before the auction commenced. Can we have slide 10, please? Which is the auction reporting. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, so essential and critical for your clients to show the transparency in your whole system. So we have a number of various reports that are submitted during and after the auction. Can we have the end-to-end auction workflow, please? The next slide. Thank you. Okay, so basically first you select your auction strategy. This you would work very closely with your client. Then digital asset management, you have your team going around across the whole Federation of Nigeria, dependent on where your client's assets are. So you need to also be quite mobile in that regard, where you're able to send your staff to every single local government in Nigeria. Then marketing of the product, registration, auction extension, execution if need be. Then the payments must be received. This is also done digitally. Asset collection as well by your various buyers. This again is also done very digitally. It's very critical that your processes must be top-notch at this point in time because you haven't seen your buyers. They have made payments to you. So you have to make sure that you have systems and processes and features in place that the assets are not given to the wrong person or to someone who has not made payment for it. Or even if you have like assets, obviously there would be different varied conditions because they're not brand new. So we've had instances where we've had buyers trying to swap, say for example, air conditioners. So maybe one particular air conditioner is in a better or looking to be in a better condition. So you've had instances where you've had buyers trying to swap those. So it's important for you when you're doing your buyers collection that your staff on ground also have access to the photographs of the assets when they were taken. Yeah. So I'd like to conclude at this point and just say online auctions will transform how assets and properties are sold in Nigeria sooner than later, especially for government assets and multinationals and financial institutions. Yeah. The future of disposal is digital, transparent, and data-driven. Thank you very much for your time and attention. Thank you. Please, a reminder to please post your questions. My valuable team members would be able to answer those questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your presentation. We've learned a lot from this, and we look forward to learning more. We would want to call on the next presenter, but before we call on him, ESV Tokwe Joe, we would like to call on ESV Richard Olodu, who's a fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuer, to kindly step in and give his introduction and brief profile of the second speaker. Thank you, ESV Richard Olodu. ESV Richard Olodu, please. Do we have ESV Richard Olodu with us, please? Okay. ESV Richard Olodu, please, can you read the profile for the second speaker, ESV Tokwe Yinka Ojo, please?
Please, can the secretary or ESV matter take on the citation if Richard Olodu is not there, please?
Okay, thank you. Can ESV matter please help us with the citation?
I'm here. You people refuse to unmute me now.
Oh, sorry about that.
So sorry.
Since you
Please,
did not unmute me, there's no way I could have read the citation without
sorry
that.
about that.
So sorry
sir.
about.
So please read the citation, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Estate Surveyor and Valuer Tokwe Yinka Ojo, Fellow of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyor and Valuer, Fellow Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, and Registered Estate Surveyor and Valuer, is a BSc holder in estate management from the prestigious Obafemi Awolowo University, OAU. The institution used to be referred to as University of Ife and has a master's in development finance from the University of Cape Town. Is a fellow, like I said earlier on, of this great institution, and is also a fellow of this Institute of Auctioneers, FCIA, Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyor, and is also an accredited member of Lagos State Multi-Door Mediation. He is an accredited mediator of Lagos State Institute of Chartered Multi-Door Accredited Mediators. He's also an associate of Business Recovery and Insolvency Practitioners Association of Nigeria. Let's say Surveyor and Valuer Tokwe Yinka Ojo is happily married with children. Please, let's make welcome our guest lecturer this afternoon, ESV Tokwe Yinka Ojo. Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, everybody, noble colleagues. I would like to stand on the existing protocol. Can you hear me very well, please?
Yes, we
Hello?
can. Yes, we can.
Can you hear me very well?
Yes, we can. We can hear you.
Very, very clearly, sir.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are audible, sir.
Okay. Let me appreciate Madam Bridget Oroyi, FNIVS, MRS Mrs., the chairman of this. I don't want to call her chairperson, but let me call her chairman of this prestigious procedural group. I would like to thank everybody for sparing your time. I have an interesting topic to share with us, but I'll be very, very brief because we've been around since 11 o'clock. I want to talk about business model when it comes to for property auction. And I'd like to start like this. People have the certification of auctioneering. You have the license. You even have the brief at time. How do you connect the brief that you have with the end users? How do you make value for yourself, for your clients, after having the certification, after going through trainings? And that's basically what I want to talk to. I will skip some of the things in my slide because, and let me go back and thank Mr. Shea Morgan for his lecture. Very fantastic. I really appreciate you, sir. So can I go to my slide? Auction has come to stay in Nigeria. Page 1. And throughout the whole world. The opportunities that auction is throwing at us, it's something that we just have to jump into the pool and be part of it. Property auction, daily, if you open newspaper, hardly will there be any week that there won't be any adverts. There won't be 1 or 2, 3 adverts that runs on auction. Let's go to slide 2. That's page 2. That's what I want, the starting point. There's a flash news that actually occurred on Monday that will interest every one of us. Page 2. The next slide. The next slide. Not this one. Yeah. I want us to look at this, what transpired in Nigeria of recent. Nigeria plans asset sales to finance 25 trillion budget deficit. That was on Monday. There is a budget deficit of 25 trillion naira. And federal government have to sell assets. And the only way they will do it is by auction. They have no choice because the Public Procurement Act says that all public assets must go by auction. Look at the next one. NDIC seek recovery of over 400 billion naira liquidated bank debts. These are reality staring at us. Court order final forfeiture of 800 million properties and vehicles in NIESV fraud case. That was 2026. AMCOM debt portfolio is over 4.6 trillion naira. Look at Nerameric. Nigerian banks incur 3.7 trillion in loan losses since 2023. So what comes to our mind as auctioneers? Just microseconds. What comes to our mind as auctioneers? A lot of these assets has to do with real estate assets that must be sold. So how do we position ourselves? How do we create a business model that will link us in the ecosystem of this auction? So what do we need to do? I look at the audience here, participants here. I could see business executive, managing partners of firms. And I know what interests you is this. How do I profit out of all those things? If federal government of Nigeria will be selling state assets to finance 25 trillion naira budgets, then I should be able to track at least certain percentage of it. Next slide. So, and if that's what we want to do, I want to tell us that how do we create business models? I'm not going to go to certain nitty-gritty of what is auction, type of auction, reserve price. Next slide. I want to be fast so that I can focus on the major thing. Next slide, please. Next slide. Because I want to focus on the business model. The next slide, please. Okay, let's talk about the auction concept about real estate. In the real estate, let me just do that one as an intro again. It starts with an instruction. Somebody gives an instruction to sell a property via auction. Now, in that way, hello?
I need warehouse.
Warehouse. That's good. Now, there's property listing. You get the instruction. When you get the instruction, so what comes after having the instruction for real estate? You have to look at the legal documents. It's a comprehensive transaction. You can't take away the legal documentation from what you want to sell. We had a very funny experience. A top institution in Nigeria asked us to auction assets, properties for them. Only for us on the day of auction, for them to discover that the property that they believe that belongs to the debtor actually belongs to another person. So the debtor was just a tenant in that property. So what they were holding on to, it's just a piece of paper that is not coherent to the transaction they want to do. And fair enough, the only unexpired term remaining on the lease is just 6 months. So the legal documentation is critical. Then we talk about marketing overreach. How do you go about the marketing and what are the things you need to do about the strategy. Then we talk about the bids coming. Then talk about the sales agreement. That's just a summary of just an auction process for properties. Can we go to the next slide, please? Next slide. I won't lay emphasis on that diverse approach to property auction, public auction, private auction, online auction, absolute auction, reserve auction. I think Mr. Morgan actually explained this in his own presentation. Can I move to the next slide so that I can get to the model? Now, let me talk about the stakeholders in property auction. And that's the build up to the model. We have property owners, the vendors, which could be individuals, which could be banks, could be corporate entities, which could be private entities, could be government entities. Those are likely owners. We have buyers. Those are investors. Those are the stakeholders. We have the developers. We have the end users that will be interested. We have the regulatory authorities. We have the professional bodies. We have the NGOs. We have the civil society. All of them are critical when it comes to auction. They are stakeholders there. We have the auctioneers themselves. We have the citizens. We have the legal practitioners. They are critical in auctions because prior to auction, during auction, after auction, the documents must be signed. So they are there. We have the exit surveyors and valuers. We have the exit agents. This is just a brief compilation of stakeholders that are involved in auction. Now, the next slide, please. The next slide. The next slide. The value proposition, it's straightforward. Why do you have to go into property auction? One, it's faster means of disposal if you get it right. It's not an end to perpetuity of introducing the property in the market. Once you fix the date, head or tail will try to close the auction by that date. One, it's competitive. It thrives on series of bids coming online, real time. So proxy, it creates serious competition. It reflects the realistic market value. Oftentimes, it is well done. It's transparent. You can see those that are bidding. You can see the amount they are bidding. You can see their profile. You have their KYC and all those things, which makes it very, very interesting in terms of value proposition. Now, it's a structured system that must be professionally handled. He has a cost-saving method. It's cheaper, all things being equal, and your fees are guaranteed. Because in private treaty, there are a lot of questions that comes about your fee. But when it comes to auction, before going to auction, everything is clear. And every role, every expensive, and one of the beauty of auction is this, your adverts, all those ancillary costs can be transferred to the seller. And oftentimes it's being transferred to the seller. So it's quite rewarding and they respect you, give you a good self-esteem at the end of every close auction. The next slide, please. The next slide. Now, this is the business of the day. What is the business model that we can adopt? And I can say it in all fairness and with all humility, everybody can participate in the ecosystem of auction. Every one of us here. Look, let me start with value-based model. Value-based model. There was a time a powerful institution in Nigeria advertised list of properties to be sold throughout Nigeria. Well, my friend was fortunate to be part of the auctioneers that will auction for them. Now, the agitation I was asking from some of my friends that why should we be only 6-7 firms that will be coordinating this auction? And I said, look, it's because people don't understand the way auction works and how you can be parts of the processes. One, in an auction process, when you see an advert like that, particularly this particular one, there was no guide price for anybody to even know. You can come in as an advisor to advise buyers about what to bid for. The value to put on their bid paper. And it's critical that majority of us here are valuers. Now, somebody wants to go and buy a property in auction. The person is going there. You can play the role of an advisor in terms of value content valuation for all the properties that he wants to bid for, or the assets the person will be bidding for. In that wise, you are making money as a firm, not throwing tantrums on the advert that the name of your firm is not there. Let me do a flip. I've seen adverts that they will appoint valuers, auctioneers to auction. And I will not even fight the auctioneer or throw tantrums at the auctioneer. I will pick my own side of valuation that, okay, people that will be participating in this auction will do valuation for them for the items that they want to sell. And on the basis of that, definitely I earn a fee. That is a business model on your own for a firm, that anytime you see an auction going on, the next thing you need to do is that you can come as an expert in valuation. And based on that, you earn income. Another role you can play in value-based model, you can be an expert witness. Look, there are disputes that occur in the course of auctions. There are things you can represent the corporate body or the public authority when an auction is going on. And all what you do is this: you vet the processes of the auctioneers, the way and you write your own report and you earn fee. We've been involved in things like that in our office. We're not the mainstream auctioneer, but all what we're doing in advisory capacity, we're coming as an expert to set up the processes to follow and ensure that those processes are well midwife, tailored towards the end users. Because the sellers will not want to be embarrassed. The auctioneer too will not want to be embarrassed. So what am I saying is this: for every advert that you see about an auction, you can participate by being an expert witness for them. At the end of the day, you can come out after the auction and write your own report, whether the auctioneer did the right thing or things he needs to improve. And that gives credibility to this process. And not just thinking that everything starts and finishes with the auctioneer, the main auctioneer alone. We can play that role of expert witness. And that means that you can't be an expert in what you don't know very well. So that puts another burden on you, that you have to educate yourself, understand it very well before you can come out to say you are coming to play that role as an expert. So it's a model. I'm talking about value-based model. Now, let me give you another role you can play, another value-based model. You can come as a market researcher or a data analyst for the transaction. A lot of things go on before the day of the auction, and a lot of things go on during the auction. When it comes to property auction, one of the critical role that is the reserve price decision. If there's going to be a mismatch, if the valuer gives the seller and information about the market price that is varied from the market reality. It happens in one of the public auction that was done last year or so. The lots of valuation reports were at variance to the market reality. But if we have a market analyst among us, somebody that comes to say, creates that pedigree, that look, these properties that we want to put in the market, the fair price in the market should be, for the reserve price, should be around this price. And it can back it up with a lot of researches. It can back it up with a lot of facts. It makes the job of the auctioneer very easy, and it brings a lot of professionalism to the market. And we need such people in the market space, particularly when it comes to the way we conduct ourselves as valuers. And let me stand it. We need to go back to school and get it right, or go back to research study on how do we conduct ourselves when it comes to valuation for liquidated assets in Nigeria. Because when you look from statistics at time, particularly for land and building, 60% of the valuation done does not capture the market realities, which gives an asset pricing mismatch. So what am I saying is this: in value-based model, some of us can come as an expert in data, as data analysts and market researcher, to put things in right perspective scientifically, that this auction, this should be the guide price, this should be the reserve price. And they have plethora of authority to establish that this market, this price, this is what goes on in the market. Now, there's a role to play, the role of an ADR in value-based model. There are always conflicts, disputes, prior, during, after an auction. So what do? You create a template that you come as an expert to resolve those conflicts, and everybody gets happy, everybody move forward, and things get back on the right perspective. Now, that's one model. Let me talk about commission-based model, or that's B2B, business to business. There was a time we had to do an auction outside Lagos in Kwara State. And we've already prepared for the auction, and the transaction is coming from our own side. We've sealed up everything, we set up the day. For one reason or the other, there was a problem about the weather. We could not fly down to Kwara State. In fact, it got to see that we got a flight that if you leave Lagos early in the morning, 7 o'clock, we get to Lorry, less than an hour flight, we can still catch up with the transaction. But we just got to the airport, again, we started changing date, flights, changing flight plan. So what we did was, okay, this is a business model that could be adopted. What did we do? We called another colleague of ours in Kwara State. We have this business that we're supposed to do in Kwara State. We, for one reason or the other, we have, let's say, what do they call this in insurance again? I've forgotten. Act of God. But this is not an act of God, or what do you want to call it? So what do? We outsource it within microseconds to the guy. This. These are the terms and conditions from the auction. This is the auction flow. This is everything we want you to do. We'll take our guarantee fee from our principal. The buyer's premium goes back to you. It's a simple business to business model. We retain our own side, in fact, that's one of the seamless, freest collaboration that we'll be involved in. The guy walked in streets, did the auction that day. The auction was successful. From the business perspective, he took its own buyer's premium from them. We collected our own money, we earned our own fee from our own principal. Now, the business to business model should be what we should be looking at. And that extends to buyer's premium model. Somebody has been given the right to auction. He's coming in as an auctioneer and is earning his fee as an auctioneer. You can supply the buyer and you work with the auctioneer that you will be paid the buyer's premium, or you will be paid part of the buyer's premium. And what do I mean by buyer premium? Those are reward. Those are fee paid by buyers, oftentimes in an auction process. So the idea of thinking that, look, if you are not the principal auctioneer that is auctioning an asset, there's no way for you in the ecosystem of auction. No. It's because we are yet to understand fully what goes on in an auction processes. And I've been involved back to back on it. I may come as an auctioneer, I may come in respect, there's a senior colleague of ours that got an auction brief. And he called our firm that we should be part of the auction brief. And all what we just use as a business model is that let's use business to business model. And the business to business model was that, okay, you are from your own principal, collect your money from the buyers that are coming for the auction, we earn our fee. So everybody walks out of the transaction smiling, shaking hand, and being happy. That's business to business auction. Let me talk about niche auction in property transaction. We call property auction as a borderline and a straight line. It's big. There is auction coming from government, public sector. There are distressed assets to be sold. There are liquidated assets, but not distressed assets to be thrown into the market. There are a lot of transactions coming from insurance company. You can create a micro niche for yourself that in this market, I want to focus on public sector auction. Like look at now, federal government want to sell. They need to raise 25 trillion naira to finance the budget. So can I position myself that at any point in time, things like this are coming up in the market? I'll build my pedigree that I'll be among the first 3, 4, 5 ranking people that will do this job. You can do that as, okay, let me focus on EFCC, this one that focus on public sector auction. Everybody, corrupt cases in Nigeria, I'll be an expert in the disposal of the assets by auction. It's a niche market. By so doing, you develop a lot of competencies. If you have been involved in bank auction, you know a lot of hard knock that you crack. Your understanding of legal mortgage, equitable interest, legal interests, all those, look, anytime they throw things to us to sell in the bank, you spend plethora of hours, days, months, distilling one by one the things you need to do. Okay, is it an hostile auction? Is the person consenting to the auction? Is the borrower consenting to the auction? Okay, what are the clauses actually that you have in your deed of legal mortgage? You have to read it section by section, section by section, section by section, to know whether it's going to be a free flow of auction. Start asking yourself that if you throw this thing in the market and the guy goes back to meet the bank, how do we structure this? What are the best methodology? Those are the things, those are the competencies that you develop if you want to start playing in niche markets. Because in this niche market, we show you lots and lots and lots and lots of questions we throw at you. So for everyone that you are doing, you are growing your market base, you are growing your knowledge base, and you are growing and developing your expertise base. So what am I saying is this: the auction market is big, particularly property auction. How do we create a niche market that anytime such an opportunity is coming up in the market, they will call you? Do you know that there are some auction that instructions that they give to us, we will call another auctioneer. Please, we are going to be the one that help us to handle those things. We have this brief. Do you know why? Because he has developed those competencies in those areas. So it makes it very faster, and it does not reduce anything from you. The client will be happy, you will be happy, and everybody will structure their feed, and everybody will move on. So that's niche auction. Let me talk about B2C. That's business to customer model. And you can have a database of people that are interested in some transactions, or another person can create that database that if there's an auction for some kind of classified asset that is coming up, the guy will be the first point of call. You call in that, look, we want to throw this in the market. From the database, he has the history and the knowledge of the market that these are the people that will buy these assets. Now, what B2C says that there's a business opportunity and there's a customer staying somewhere that might be interested in that asset. You may not know that customer, and you may know them, you will not know how to reach them. But somebody may have the database and may be interfacing with them day by day. And all what you have to do is that you take that business and you throw it to that person. And it makes the transaction time and transaction cost to be concluded seamlessly. Let me give you an instance. Let me digress. There was a time they asked us to do an auction of aircraft. And we did not get the business model well in our office. We tried advertise, pictures, jingles, all the RAS material, but the guy, very nice guy, he came back to meet me after about a month or two. That he wants to bring another auction firm outside the country from South Africa to be part of the auction. And will you tell the guy that not to do that? You'll be bad. You at least for 2 months, 8 weeks, you've tried and you did not. And there's no hiding place in auction. If you don't perform, you don't perform. The end result is that sell at the reserve price or above the reserve price. But the firm that came for to do the transaction in Nigeria, the partner there, all what he's been doing in the past 40 years has to do with auctioning of the aircraft. The plethora of history, knowledge with the guy about the markets, you cannot fault it. One, our pricing was wrong. The valuation was wrong. The market in the price was wrong. So when the guy came, he has a list of people that wanted to buy. So I learned a lot of things from the guy, the way the guy will not auction properties. He will not auction cars. All what the guy focuses on has to do with aircraft. Now, so B2C is you have a business, you are looking for somebody that is familiar with the customers, that will make it very easy for you to sell at the right price as fast as possible. So we need to look at that model and we need to understand that model very well. Another thing is an extension, an improvement on this B2C model is the marketplace platform. You can just create a platform that everybody will acquaint themselves with that platform. And if anybody has a property to sell or auction, they'll bring it to that platform. And when they get to that platform, customers will be going to that platform to check for information. At the end of the day, they wrap up the deal. And I guess that's what our friend was doing before. And he's still doing. Castle Magazine. There was a time the reference point for the market, information in the market, you just buy a copy of Castle Magazine. You see all sorts of properties there. So you can look from those adverts to look at what we have in the market. So what am I saying is this? Everybody seated there, every firm seated there, we have a role to play in auction processes or in the auction ecosystem. Now, what you need to do or what I need to do is to look at the way we carve a niche for ourselves. And that model is online model. Look at what Mr. Sheyi Morgan has been talking to. Its critical focus is core market is online. And day by day is gaining momentum along that line. Now, online model is a model in auction. And what you have to do is that you have to extensively understand the market, look at how you can package the market very well along that line and get the best of benefits from the market. And it's one of the biggest markets. Look at what Amazon, eBay is doing. And we need to start thinking along that line in Nigeria so that we won't become general merchants. You can't create that model, get patient with the model, nurse the model, grow the model, and make sure that, and I'm telling you, the market is looking for everybody with these kind of different models to be adopted in the market. And those are the things I want to focus on. I want the major thing to be the business model that we need to do. That everybody attending this program today, you can look at what do I want to do. Do I want to stay on valuation as a value-added options for everybody participating in auction? Look, You see those adverts. Everybody that wants to be needs an expert advice in terms of valuation. So you can play your own role. Data analytics is critical. It's a model. You can just stay, look at Bloomberg. What Bloomberg does is providing information, day-to-day information about businesses throughout the whole world. We need somebody that will sit and be giving us data. So auctions were done. These are the things that transpired in the auction. So with these things going on, you close it. Then you can focus on luxury properties alone. Your auction model, that anything less than 1 billion naira, I won't touch it for properties, or anything less than 500 million. Look, you can create that model yourself, that I want to operate on top-end markets alone. And at the same time, once you start it, you may start running down the curve, but I'm telling you, the market will respond to it. Look at IBTC before the merger. It was just a small bank in 3 branches, and all the top-notch people in Nigeria, they're all feeding from them. So create those kind of model for ourselves and let's move forward. Let me be fast. I've talked about the models. Can you move forward, please? Can you go to slide 11? Slide 11, not this one. Next one. Slide 11. I want to wrap up. Yeah. Now, what are the benefits of all those things? What are the, because I've talked about those models. And one of the incentives that will make us to drive those models is that your commissions are guaranteed. In fact, the options of diverse commission in auction is not something I can just be talking now. Yeah. When they give us property to sell by private treaty, the clients can be testing the market. You waste your time, waste your energy, waste your resources. And by the time buyers are now coming with offers, it gives the seller to start telling us that I asked you to sell for XYZ, but this is what you are getting. Therefore, I'm not going to pay you this fee again. In fact, this is what I'm going to pay. But it's not like that in auction. The processes are clear. At intervals of variation, if you can capture all the risk that may happen in an auction, you can capture the processes very well. The advert cost, you are not the one that's going to pay it. It's your vendor. Oftentimes in private treaty, you are the one that does your advert yourself. In auction, you bill your principal for the listing fee. You bill your principal for the advertisement fee. In auction, they pay you for logistics. If you are going to host people for coffee, we've done transactions that we have to say, okay, we're going to be in an hotel, there'll be coffee break, there'll be this, there'll be light refreshment. It's at the beck and call of our vendor or our principal to pay. Those are the things that comes with auction. And in auction, they pay us consultancy service. It's not a straight line like private treaty. Look, you have them to vet their bills. Okay, we were involved in an auction, and after the auction, they were not there to create sale contracts, auction contracts. We are the one that brought in the lawyer. The lawyer collected his fee, and we charge, it's part of our consultancy fee. We told the lawyer things that will come into the contract sales and all those things, blah, 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 and the terms and conditions like that. And that's part of your role. So not only your fee, you collect consultancy fee. Some people can even charge warehousing fee for some of the items that comes with them. And those are the things that makes auction rewarding, robust. But my friend, you need to read. It's knowledge driven. The next process. The next slide, please. The next slide. Now, you can go to the slide, but I must say something. Due diligence, verify legal title details is critical in property auction. Please, please, please ask for the title documents, read the title documents, know about the tenants. If the place is tenanted, get information about the details of the tenants that are there. Make sure they are aware. Make sure the statutory notices have been given to the tenants. Because after auction, if you are not careful, you may not do anything in your office in the next 2 months. You may be running from pillar to post to resolve those problems. At the end of the day, all the effort may just go down the drain and they will vitiate, they will cancel the transaction if this is not done. The last slide. Move to the last slide. Let me stop here. Okay, conclusion before this one. The conclusion. No, I don't want to see my own face. I know myself. Okay, now let me close like this. Globalization, urbanization, and economic dynamics is throwing a lot of opportunities at us. And at this stage, we need to jump into it. Auction, it's not just about service alone. It's a problem solution-driven perspective to sales. And it comes with a lot of bundle of opportunities across the value chain. A valuer can play many roles in an auction world and earn good fee. The question now is this: how prepared are we? We need to improve robust academic research. We need to do a lot of reading, thinking, strategic collaboration among ourselves. Because you may have the instruction, I may have the market platform. I may have the market platform, you have the instruction. So we need to work together, interface with each other, and get the best out of this market. And I can tell you, we have not started. We have not started. The market in auction will throw a lot of job for us in valuation, in project management, in ADR. And it's heaven is the target that we can reach. So let me stop and say thank you for the privilege of coming to share my own thoughts about the business model. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We enjoyed your presentation. Thanks for giving us the privilege to do that. So, having listened to the two speakers for today, I would like to ask the audience for their questions so that the speakers can help us with responses. So please, I will want those that have questions to kindly type it in so that we can read it out. The chat box is there. That would help us identify those questions and read them out. We have just 10 minutes for that. So I'll kindly ask that we probably have just like 4 questions that should be attended to. So please, can we indicate if we have questions? Can we indicate if we have questions, please? Okay, so can we, okay, we have some questions now. Okay, can we have soft copies of those papers presented? Yes, you can have soft copies of the papers presented. I think the chairman will make it available for us. Then we have another question. Okay, thank you, sir. Well done, sir. Great presentation. I'm motivated to join this group. How do I go about it, sir? So for you to join, you reach out to the chairman of the committee, and she would support you with that, or the secretary, ESV Matter. So she would also be able to help you with that. I think she would help us post their numbers on the platform here so that we can have access to it. Then we also have, thank you, sir. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Kindly share the materials with us. We'll do that. Thank you very much to the speakers. My question is that, is there a way we could lay our hands on copies of today's lecturers? Yes, you can. Then thank you for the presentation. Please with a copy. Okay. Basically, everyone is asking for the copy. Then we have a question from ESV Kazim for Larry. He says, how does it take to become a professional auctioneer? So I don't know. I think to become a professional auctioneer, I think you would have to get these details from the second speaker. So I don't know. Maybe the second speaker can help us with that. Yes, Itokwa Yinka Ojo, please, can you help us with that? What does it take to become a professional auctioneer?
Okay, thank you, Dr. Igo. The chairperson is there. Bridget. ESV Bridget, MRS. Now, let me tell you what it takes. Number one, if you talk about a profession, you must have certification, you must have training, you must have hours of competencies. And what the board is trying to do right now, I'm going by the board perspective. The laws in Nigeria is lateral about auctioneering. You can get your license from the local government, you can get from the state government, and you can get probably at the federal level, at Federal Capital Territory. You can get it across that one. But what the board is trying to do, that's what I was trying to ask the chairperson of the faculty. I think she must talk about it. The board is coming up with licensing procedures for auctioneering, plant and equipment valuation, IP valuation. And I think everybody should start going towards that. And the training will be domesticated with schools. Dr. Igo is teaching auctioneering in our school up to a postgraduate level. And once you've gone through hours of training, hours of certification, I could see one of the participants is the auction school. I could see members of CIAN and NAA there, NAA here. They are all doing training. And after training, it goes through hours of practice, then they'll give you their own certificate. But anybody about 20, 21 years can go to work to the local government, go to the state government to apply for an auctioneering license. That shows how laid back we are in Nigeria about it. That shows that the market is there. So what do we need to do? We just have to jump at it, train ourselves, and introduce value into the market. But I think the chairperson will throw more light on that about the upcoming training for licensing by the board. She will tell us how to go about it and what we need to do.
Okay, thank you, my IPC. All right. Yes, we're going to throw more light on how you become an auctioneer, just as the IPC immediate past chairman said. Yes, we are licensed to be auctioneers. We are trained as auctioneers, but we still do further training, further auctioneering training. And for us now, we've sent in a proposal for those that have not undergone this auctioneering training, because by the regulations of NIESV, they are supposed to issue a certificate. So we are waiting for the approval of the president and council before we roll this out to the estate surveyors and valuers. So for some people that have been trained, the step to get the certification from the board, and for those that are yet to be trained. So for now, I can't say much on it, but of course, for you to be a certified auctioneer, you have to undergo some training. So we are just waiting for approval from the board. And this is what we are waiting for, approval from president and council. And this training we are doing now is part of the training we are to undergo. While some also went to do masters in auctioneering, like IPC said. Some went through CIAN training. All these are part of the trainings we are to undergo. So we'll give a full detail once the president and council approves our proposal. Thank you.
Can I help you? Can I help you?
Okay,
yes, sir, please come in.
Yes. Our distinguished noble colleagues, as a rider to what Madam Chairman has said, the President and Council has put in the modalities to finish conclusion with the board. And very, very soon, all the parameters will be out. I think within a shortest possible time, we will finish all those arrangements and everything will be at the doorstep of every member of this institution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, First Vice, sir. We're grateful for that information. So we have other questions. Some has been answered already, but I think the last one we'll be taking is when a bidder fails to fulfill his obligation to pay after winning a bid, what is the recourse? So I think our first speaker can help us with this.
Thank you very much. It all depends on your terms and condition of sale. If you had stated there that a deposit is taken, then that deposit is forfeited to the auctioneer. Yes, the auctioneer has run its service, so that deposit now becomes part of the auctioneer's fees. Of course, this would have already been discussed with the seller, so they're fully aware, and so there are no issues coming up after that. But if it's a case where no deposit has been taken, then it's really up to the auctioneer to now blacklist that seller, that buyer, for a duration of time. I trust that has answered your question.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, sir. Sorry, I was thinking, I didn't know I was muted. So there's another question here. It says, what of someone that has been certified by Certified Institute of Auctioneers in Nigeria? Does he need another certification? I think that's for the chairperson.
Okay, like I earlier pointed out, that all this will be unfolded in due course. And like the first vice told us, that the institution is discussing with the registration board. So until that blueprint comes out, we'll now know the next line of action to take. It will make everything very clear to all our members. Thank you. Let's just be patient. It will soon be out.
Dr. Ego,
Dr.
Ego, can I add to what the first VP said? That's Malam Otumba Baturi and the chairman of the Professional Group. Now, what we want us to understand is this: beyond certification, the laws in Nigeria is very simple. Anybody above the age of 21 can get today. The licensing of auctioneering runs on the concurrent list. The states, the federal, and the local governments. But what I want us to, what the professional group is going to focus, we are trying to focus on is training our members to be relevant in the marketplace. Beyond certification, it behoves on every one of us to be attending trainings. Mr. Morgan will tell you his wealth of experience on all those trainings. If you are not trained, you cannot handle function very well in auctioneering. Sincerely. And I want us to get ready and be open to a lot of training that will be coming from the professional group. And these are backup of wealth of experiences. There are things I could not say today. Look, when you get involved in auctioneering, if you don't know money laundering laws, you spend time with EFCC and police. And that's why when those trainings are coming, people will be coming to share their experiences. How do you report your transaction back to the statutory authority in Nigeria to cover yourself? So the training is critical to our role in the marketplace. How do we interpret the value, the reserve price in terms of the reality in the market? What value are we adding to the industry that makes customer to look in our direction? I think that's what I want to say. So training is critical. For your licensing, it's very easy. Work to any local government. But for the board license, you have to follow the modules, processes of the board. But even if you have the license, how do we run an auction? So that's the next question. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. So the last question is from Toyin Loring. She says, what do you do when a bank instructs you to proceed with an auction, even though public notice requirements are not fully met? So I think here's a talk where you can also help us with this. What do you do?
You know, we're talking about business models. And one of the reasons I think the organizer picked the word model is that there are many things you can do. Many things you can do. One is to accept or reject instruction. But what makes us to be a professional is our ability to solve problems and to see problems that could be solved from that content. So what I would tell Madam Tony Lori is let's start after, because it's case by case basis. When banks ask you to sell, please demand for the deed of legal mortgage. Get to know whether it's legal interest that they have or equitable interest. If it's an equitable interest, the model is totally different. If it's a legal mortgage, let's be sincere, ask for them. Status of the properties, ask for the valuation report. Ask for the valuation report, ask for the condition of tenancy. If it is owner-occupier, it's high risk. If it's not that, it's a long, trickish balance, but we can talk after. You understand? We won't leave here today. And the caveat I'll tell everybody is this: you can waste your time on bank instruction for an auction, and you earn zero money. So you have to understand it's a special skill. There are special skill sets that you need to decipher, to distill along the line. Mr. Morgan can come in on that. But when it comes
Mr. Morgan, please, can you help us with
that? Mr. Morgan.
The first speaker, please. Mr.
Okay,
Morgan.
thank you. I was trying to unmute myself, right? Yes, there have been instances where I wouldn't even so much specify that it's more of we haven't had enough time to, one, even prepare the asset for sale. We had such an instance, and you know, it comes back to how do you prepare the asset for sale? That was our main focus. Legally, everything had been fully tied up, so that wasn't an issue for us. The property was vacant, so we were able to sell. But just even to prepare and present the asset in the best light possible. But the bank still went ahead, and I just felt that we could have gotten a lot more if just even a lick of paint or something had been done to the property, so it just didn't look run down as it was. But you know, things like that do happen. I think also for government, I think it's more for government. I think there's a 2-week window where government has to actually advertise before the sale happens. And such an instance came up where I think we were maybe 10 days to the sale date was when it was put up. And some people complain that, but you know, the government says we must advertise for 14 days or X number of days. I can't remember how many number of days exactly before you can actually run the auction. But we still went ahead to run the auction, but there were no recourse from the people who had laid that complaint. So, you know, really it's on a case-to-case basis where you just sit down and look and try and take your seller along and make sure that and ensure that you're covered legally
That is ever so important. In case there are any blowbacks from your potential buyers, and even the property owner who has now forfeited or the property repossessed by the financial institution. Yeah, that's it. I hope I've answered that question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Morgan. Thank you very much, Mr. Tokwe. Yes, Tokwe Inkajo. We are greatly, we've greatly been impacted with required knowledge when it comes to online auction and business of auctioneering. You know, from online auction, we've been able to understand the fact that we have to have a comprehensive assets documentation of what we want to do. Then we must also understand in terms of the assets and alerts, onboarding phase, the bidding activities, that's during the auction itself, and we have a lot more from those slides. Then we also had online asset viewing, optional physical inspection, bidder registration, and login. Then we had monitoring, bid monitoring and moderation, bid activities and competition, and the likes of it. So these are what we're able to benefit from the online auction as presented by Mr. Morgan, and a lot more. But we have just a few minutes to give this briefing. Then from the business model for Yinka, Topa Yinka Ojo, we're able to understand that for business model, we have to understand the concept we want to work with. What do we want to do? What kind of model works for us? You know we have the online model where we go online and we're able to bid online, where people are able to participate from near and far. We have access to reach more people through the online system. Then we have other business models available from its discussion. Then we also have the auction review streams, the review streams for auction. And that's an aspect that every estate surveyor and valuer will be interested in. What's my commission at the end of the day after all of these, and what goes to the buyer, the advertising and listing fees, among others. Then there's one key point to note from Tope Inka Ojo's presentation: due diligence. You have to be sure of what you are doing. You have to pay due diligence with respect to the legal and the title details, with respect to what you want to auction, to avoid future problems. And like he also said, we need to understand this auction process. It's not something that you just jump into. And one point he was also trying to make while he was ending his notes for the question is with respect to money laundering. You need to understand the processes involved in that so that you are not carried by EFCC because you were involved in the auction process. So all of these are things that we've been able to benefit from today, but we can't learn everything at once. We can't learn everything at once. Those that have been here will also compete from all of which. So thank you very much. I appreciate everyone for being part of this presentation today. And I appreciate our first vice president for being in attendance. I appreciate our chairperson for coming up with this idea that is relevant for all estates of yours and valuers to gain knowledge with respect to auction and the business of auction. I also appreciate the speakers. Mr. Morgan, thank you so much for your beautiful presentation. I appreciate you as the Tokwa Yinka Ojo. Thank you so much for your beautiful presentation too. I also appreciate the audience. I can't start naming everyone. We have a lot of people here. We have Dare, we have Abiodun, we have Adebayo, most of the ESVs, we have Adebowale, we have, and the likes of a lot of us have been here. We have about 151 participants. Thank you so much for seeing it as relevant to participate in this webinar and enjoy and benefit from it. Thanks a lot, everyone. So for presentation of our award, I think I will allow the chairperson to handle that. Presentation of the plates for the presenters. So the chairperson, Ma.
Thank you very much, Dr. Igo. The presentation of the plaques will be done by our first Vice President, Dr. Bature. Secretary, please assist. Let the plaques be displayed. It will be done, the presentation will be done by the first Vice President, please. Thank you. Yes, it's Samson. You have the floor, please. Let the plaques be displayed. First Vice President will do the
Trying to unmute.
presentation, please.
Just 1 minute.
Is they displayed?
Mr. Chair, that can be sent to the IT guy, More. We display it.
Yes, the Samson, Shola, we are waiting for you, please. And the first Vice is waiting for you as well.
Okay, sir. I'm trying to forward that to trying to share the screen. So just a minute, please. And it's just not displaying. I wouldn't know why.
And so you can send to IT, send it to Maureen.
Noted, man.
Yeah. Warren should be able to see how he will upload it.
Is it there? Do we have this? My chairperson?
On the screen.
Is this displayed
Yes,
on the screen?
Okay, all right. So mention the name so that our first Vice will give them the presentation, please.
Okay, noted, man. This is the award of appreciation for NIESV Tope Ojo. Our first
All
Vice.
right. Okay, thank you very much. NIESV Tope Ojo. I have the privilege and honor to present you with this beautiful award on behalf of Mr. President, Chairman of Council, the Chairman of the Auctioneering Business Group, and the entire membership of the institution. We thank you for your well-articulated paper presentation, and we appeal that you please kindly accept this as a token gift from the business group. Congratulations, please.
Thank you, sir, Mr. Vice President. But I'm still going to send my account to you.
No problem.
To you personally, sir.
No problem. The chairman is already there by your side. She will bail me out before I leave Kaduna.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
The second one we have here is for Dr. NIESV Dr. Ego Fayomi. Is that displayed?
Ego, okay. Yes, I think I've seen it. NIESV Dr. Ego Fayomi. You too, on behalf of the President and Chairman of Council, the Chairman of the Auctioneering Business Group, and the entire membership of the institution, please accept this award of appreciation being presented to you today at this very, very important program. Congratulations to you, please. Thank you very much.
Thank you, my first vice, sir. Thank you so much for this. I appreciate greatly. Thank you, my chairperson, ma'am. I'm really grateful for this.
Thank you.
And the last that we have is for our presenter, our speaker, Mr. Olusheye Morgan.
Right. Mr. Olusheye Morgan, your paper was a very, very good one and very, very educative. And I hope, and all of us hope, that next time we call on you, you will be available for us. I will tell you that I personally have gained so many things which I've jotted here before the main papers will be sent to us. Honestly, it is a remarkable presentation. So on behalf of the President and Chairman of Council, the business group itself, Chairman, and the entire membership, we please award you with this token gift as an award of appreciation. And we still thank you for finding time. And like I said, please, we pray that when next we knock on your door, kindly open your door for us so that we can tap more from your wealth of experience. Congratulations, please.
Thank you, first Vice Chairperson, President, also to the Chairman for this recognition. I'd also like to thank you for giving me the opportunity to come and speak to the body as a whole. Thank you very much. Auctioneering business is certainly changing, and it's so good to see a professional body being in the forefront of the auction industry. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sirs. We'll be sending the plaques to your addresses. We'll talk after this to know where we can bring the plaques to you. We are grateful for honoring our invitation. And like our first vice said, that please, when we call upon you, answer us again. Thank you very much. First vice, we appreciate your presence. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for thanking me, and I appreciate all of you too. And I hope that you will start working on the next line of duty for the business group. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. Moderator, back to you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, my first vice. Thank you, my chairperson. We appreciate everyone. So to give the vote of thanks, we are going to be calling on NIESV Olushola Samson Oyelowo. He's a member of the Nigerian Institution of Estate Surveyors and Valuers and is a registered estate surveyor and valuer.
Thank you so much, the moderator. In fact, maybe you have done a big job as far as that is concerned. And I want to first of all appreciate all our participants, our esteemed speakers. You have done wonderfully well for this insightful presentation. We appreciate you for the call. We called on you and you've answered. You have given us a wonderful presentation, mind-blowing, and I'm sure a whole lot of us
We can't hear you. You don't know.
Hello. Hello, Mr. Oyelowo. Have you been able to give your vote of thanks?
Village people.
I think my network was a bit unstable. I had to come again. Or is that okay? Okay.
Thank you. Yes, we are with you now.
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Thank you so much. I think, like I said, the moderator, Dr. Igo, you've done a wonderful job. My first vice president, we thank the whole leadership of the institution for this great opportunity and for leading us on the call. It's a wonderful time here. Thank you so much. I appreciate all participants. And the next webinar is coming up. Please stay tuned. We'll keep you updated. And it's indeed a wonderful time being here. Thank you all, and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. So on this note, I would like to call on the chairperson to officially close the event for today.
Thank you, Dr. Ego, but I want to pass on to our first vice to officially close us. First vice, please officially close us. Thank
you. All right, that's no problem. Distinguished noble colleagues, on behalf of the president and chairman of council and everybody in the institution, as I said earlier, we thank you for having time to attend, and we pray that when next everybody is invited, all of us will join hand and attend. There is nothing good as you coming back, you coming to expand more on your knowledge or to learn more. At this juncture, I would say I hereby have the pleasure and honor of declaring this session closed for now. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your presence. We really appreciate you, sir. Thank you,
sir.
To our speakers, to all the participants. We look forward to more to more training in the near future. We'll expect to see everyone there. Thank you.
God bless you.
Bye.
The chairman, thank you so much. At least, thank you. Bye-bye.